As self-proclaimed foodies, we describe our relationship with food as romantic. And maybe that's why Mexico has made the perfect temporary home for us. Food here is savory, it's spicy, and most importantly, it's fresh. It's not for convenience like in much of the world. It's hard, time-consuming work, and it's for absolute enjoyment. One thing that we found most special about eating around this glorious country is that every region, every state, hell, almost every town, has their own unique culinary traditions. And today, we're bringing you to the colorful city of Guanajuato to show you some special foods of the region and some all-time Mexican classics. So pull up a chair, we'll grab you a plate. It's time to eat. Alright, so we are on our way into Centro to get some food from Guanajuato, but I am too hungry, so we're stopping at the market that's right next to our house to get something that isn't necessarily native to Guanajuato, but they do it in a slightly different way. So we're getting tlacoyas, or tlacoyos, which are thicker maize, so corn vessels, kind of like a taco or huarache. Here they actually fry them, so they're done in a different style. So I thought that'd be kind of neat to show off. Let's go get some tlacoyos. Un tlacoyo con chicharrón.
¿Con queso o nada más el chicharrón?
Queso, por favor.
¿No pones, por favor?
Alright, so I got my little snack. It's a tlacoyo with chicharron, and it's kind of like a pre-prepared chicharron in a sauce that they cut the corn tortilla in half, fill it up, put some queso on it, and then I threw some salsa on it. First bite here. It is so good. It's very crispy, which is a nice texture because you actually don't get that a lot out of like corn tortillas and huaraches and things like that. So getting like such a crispy fried tortilla is really nice. You really get that in like tacos dorados a lot. So this is a different style and like a thicker shell. So it's delicious. Now, before we continue indulging, Guanajuato City is the capital of the central Mexican state of Guanajuato. Founded in 1548, the city was settled in a narrow river valley in terrain that doesn't quite encourage urban development. So why is Guanajuato here? Well, for the Spanish conquest of additional wealth, of course. The mountains surrounding the city are rich in minerals, and at one point, were the largest silver-producing area for the Spanish Empire. Today, this is a city of color and culture, full of endless tales of an underground history, a place where old and new ideas shake hands. Its winding, narrow alleyways keep its explorers forever wondering what's around the next corner. And while Guanajuato doesn't have the food fame of meccas like Guadalajara or Oaxaca, there is still good and unique food to be found here. Let's get some more food. Alright, so first up on our list is a guacamaya. Now these are from the state of Guanajuato, originating from León, which is the biggest city in Guanajuato. They are a monstrosity. So you take chicharron and you stuff it inside of a torta, which is a bizarre thing to take like crispy fried pig skin, put it into a torta, but why not? No different than a taco is here in Mexico. So on top of that, you get some salsa mexicana, so like pico de gallo, spicy salsa, salsa picante, a couple random chilaquiles or tortilla chips, eggs, lime, avocado, all sorts of stuff. I don't really know how to eat it, but I'm gonna do my best to get some. I feel like this is a fork food. I think I got it on my face. Oh my god, that salsa is really good. This is actually really good. Hang on. The chicharron in a sandwich is not as weird as you think it would be. Because with everything, it like softens it up some. This is delicious because with the lime and the spicy salsa, it's almost like nachos. I don't know how else to describe it. Really, really, really good. I wish we got more of these when we were here. This is our first time trying it. Approved.
How do you even go about eating this? You just took a massive bite, so I'm gonna give it a go. It's really good. I'm gonna be honest, it's a little better than I expected it to be. I was like, what are we even getting ourselves into? But it is very tasty. And the bread on it's very, very crunchy. And with the chicharron, if you never had chicharron, it's amazing, and they eat it all over here in Mexico. But I just love that you're just shoving it in a torta. Muy rico. Very good. One thing I absolutely love about Mexican food is I feel like there's no rules. Like, this torta has absolutely no rules. There's no rule saying that you can't make a mess of yourself, that you can't shove chicharron in a torta. Like, it's pretty awesome. And it's true for a lot of Mexican food. I feel like it's just very common to just do things just a little bit differently and try new things, and I love that.
¿Cuántas veces me volviste demente?
Now it's market time, baby.
Estoy tan solo, no es fácil. Te quiero, baby, hasta que nazca el sol, hasta que nazca el sol. Dime, ¿cuántas veces me volviste demente? Ahora sin ti estoy tan solo, no es fácil. Te quiero, baby, hasta que nazca el sol, hasta que nazca el sol.
But why is it called Mercado Hidalgo?
Miguel Hidalgo. Miguel Hidalgo is known as the father of Mexican independence, who is one of 4 leaders who helped lead the movement for Mexico's separation from Spain. And this building here is where one of those first battles were held. So here in Guanajuato City, he organized a movement of people to march on this building to capture it from the Spaniards here to kick off the battle for Mexican independence. Eventually he was captured along with the other 3 leaders of the movement by the Spaniards, and a pretty gruesome thing happened. Up here on the corner of this building, after they decapitated Hidalgo, they hung his head in a cage from a pole on that building. And every corner of this building, all 4 corners of this building, held one of the leaders of the movement's head. And that was a sign from the Spaniards, don't try to separate, but obviously it didn't work because in 1810, Mexico won their independence from Spain. So all over Mexico, you'll hear of places that are named after Miguel Hidalgo, including the state of Hidalgo, and of course, the Mercado Hidalgo here in Guanajuato City. Okay, so next up we're in the market and we have Milanese de pollo. So it's chicken Milanese. So it is not at all a Guanajuato dish, nor is it really a Mexican specific dish. But what's very interesting is it's very, very common here. So this is something I haven't had in a really, really long time, but it's kind of like comfort food to me. So it was cool seeing that it's common here and it's something for us to try.
And our lunch comes with a little guayaba juice, a little agua fresca.
Not to be confused with famed Timmy Turner's guava juice.
This kind of feels like your mom's home cooking. It just feels really, really nice and homey.
Dicen que eres lo último que se pierde, aunque a veces me
me cuesta encontrarte. Eres la sensación de fe que las cosas van a salir bien. Y la motivación que alienta mi alma y me da razón.
On our way to feast on Guanajuato's most famed dish, we see a stairway to the underground history of the city. Being built in a river valley, the city had constant problems with flooding throughout its history. Because of this, the floor of the city was raised twice, leaving 2 floors of many older buildings buried underground. The river then flowed in a series of diversion paths and tunnels. After the construction of dams and reservoirs in the mid-1900s, flooding was no longer an issue, and the river was rerouted further underground, allowing the tunnels to be converted into today's roadways, alleviating traffic from the city above. We are at Enchiladas de Lupe, getting Enchiladas Mineras, which is the most original dish here from Guanajuato. Excited for it to come out. As the name implies, Enchiladas Mineras, or miner enchiladas, are the result of the city's mining history. Miners didn't make very much money, but worked long, grueling days and had quite an appetite. A hearty dish of corn tortillas with starchy potatoes and carrots was a perfect remedy for a miner's appetite on a miner's budget. Okay, so they just came out and they look really, really good. We have had these once before, but I think these look a little bit better. So they're rolled tortillas. I think they're lightly fried, covered in a sauce, and then there's potatoes and carrots that get put on top of it. It's served with a little bit of chicken and some queso fresco, and we of course put some chilies to put on top of it. There's onions mixed in with the queso fresco, which is really, really good.
So that may have been my favorite thing that I've had since being here in Guanajuato, which is awesome because we're just about to leave. So I get to have my favorite thing right before. It was just so fresh and light, and the people making it there is just so great, and it's just like, it's such a vibe. So like, I would recommend that 1,000,000% if you're here in Guanajuato. Find that little shop and go. The women there are phenomenal, and they're making some of the best stuff.
If you're craving some non-Mexican eats while you're exploring the alleys of Guanajuato, there are plenty of diverse cuisines. We had Lebanese, we had Japanese, and like good New York natives, we had some delicious pizza. Guanajuato has been one of our favorite cities that we've traveled, and we've been extremely fortunate to call it our home for the past 5 weeks. Its colorful buildings, welcoming people, and delicious foods were special to witness as temporary residents. But with just 1 month left on our visa here in Mexico, the road calls, and our van, Jolene, is itching for adventure. So the next time we see you, we'll be somewhere wild, with nowhere to be and all day to get there.